guys, today we're going to take a look at the Olde Engine Works Marketplace. The Olde Engine Works Antique Marketplace is a 22,000 square foot multi-vendor antique store that is located in the heart of Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. This hidden gem is a picker's paradise with its ever-changing vintage inventory. The building itself also has a very unique and interesting history. The engine works was built in 1902, and in 1903 the facility originally opened as a machine shop where they built large steam-powered hoists and belts that were used for building bridges, working in quarries, and for many other industrial applications. After World War II, the engine works primarily focused on building hoists for shrimp boats, which helped to pull in the heavy shrimp nets. In fact, you can still find Stroudsburg engine work hoists on boats all over the world. The engine works continued to operate as a machine shop until November of 1992. It was then that the building was converted into an antique market, which originally started with only 14 different vendors. Now the engine works is happily home to over 50 different vendors with thousands of different vintage and antique items for sale. I am honored to say that I am one of the vendors that is currently occupying space down at the Olde Engine Works. I have been vending down at the Olde Engine Works for a little over a year now, though the Olde Engine Works has always been in my life for as long as I can remember. When I was younger, my dad had a small booth here, and I remember coming with him when he was restocking. We've always been a family of dealers, and I spent a lot of my time growing up around flea markets, antique malls, and yard sales, so I guess you can say that thrifting and picking is just in my blood. Though I have to admit that a few years ago, I would not have expected myself to have my very own vending space at an antique mall. And I really have a lot of you to thank for that. Thanks to all of the support on my TikTok page, I realized that this was actually a really great option for me. So in August of 2022, I signed up and opened my very first vending space at the Olde Engine Works, where I actually started off dealing alongside with my dad. We shared a booth for a few months, and then eventually he opened several other spaces, and I took the original one over completely. My dad has always been one of my biggest inspirations and greatest supporters, and I am so grateful that I have started this endeavor with him. Now we often bond over talking business, and we even spend a lot of time together on the weekends thrifting and antiquing as we look for items to restock our booths with. And I have to say that I am so very proud with how far we've come in such a short amount of time. And now I honestly can't imagine what my life would be like without the Olde Engine Works. The vendors and the customers here are absolutely phenomenal, and I highly recommend stopping by if you're ever in the area. You never really know what kind of treasures you might find. I often find myself leaving the Olde Engine Works with things that I purchased for my own personal collection after restocking my booth, which is actually so wonderful because now I know that I'm not only supporting a small business, but I'm actually supporting my very own friends. Thank you so much for letting me share parts of this adventure with you as I navigate through this new chapter of my life. I sure am learning a lot along the way, and I thank you so much to all of the people who have been so supportive and those who have even been inspired to start selling and vending themselves. I'm so grateful for this community that we've created and that we now get to share our tips and tricks with one another, as well as just talk about our collections with each other. This is actually one of my dad's booths right here, and this space is right outside of our original booth, which we lovingly named the Glass Hole. Because, well, we specialize primarily in vintage glassware. Before moving into the Glass Hole space, the area was not really being used very much, and I feel like we've brought a lot of life to this space. I'm extremely proud of how the Glass Hole turned out. It has literally brought a ton of light to a darker area of the engine works. I love hearing customers' compliments as they walk in and exclaim how bright and inviting it is. I'm also extremely proud to say that since I've started vending at the Olde Engine Works, the booth has made enough money to cover its monthly expenses while also having enough profit left over to reinvest in new purchases for the booth. I'm really hoping that business continues to be consistent and that I'll be able to do this for quite some time, and that maybe I'll even be able to expand my own vending space either in the Olde Engine Works or at other local antique shops. But no matter what happens, I'm so grateful for the experience and for the fun times that I've had vending at the Olde Engine Works so far. Now, with all that being said, let's go take a look at some of the other beautiful treasures that are lurking around the Olde Engine Works right now. Thank you so much for watching, and for anyone who may not be able to make it down to the Olde Engine Works, let me know in the comments below if you would be interested in us setting up a Whatnot account where we could host live auction sales right from our booths down at the Olde Engine Works. Otherwise, remember that the Olde Engine Works is open daily from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. for all of your eclectic shopping needs.